Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. With you, as always, myself, Bob, and got my brother with me, Mr. Scott Tripp, aka the Crypto Beast. As you guys know by now, we take a couple minutes out of our day, go through some of the headlines that we see in the crypto news, bring them to your attention, and see what you guys think about them. As you guys also know, I'm one of the admins over here at BigONE. Scott also is an admin and also handles all the social media for BigONE. And then without further ado, we got to go to our little favorite segment before we get into the daily crypto news, and it's the daily sentiment by the Crypto Beast. So it gives Scott a chance to introduce himself and give us his sentiment based off, just playing around on social media, maybe going through Reddit and some of the Twitter comments and stuff.
I don't know. I don't feel like super negative right now. Like the price did go down a little bit, but it hasn't been as big of a spike as it has previously in the past. So I do still have a semi green feeling to the charts right now.
Yeah, there you go, man. You gotta always get the people something, right? So without further ado, we're going to jump right into the daily crypto news. My first article is actually going to be coming from Cointelegraph. The headline reads, "Battle for authenticity heats up in the world's most popular NFT collection." And it goes on to read, in a Discord published on Wednesday, Matt Hall, the core developer at Larva Labs, the entity behind the popular CryptoPunks V2, initially CryptoPunks V1 NFT collections, announced that he would be taking appropriate steps in the following days regarding the alleged copyright infringement on both art and the name CryptoPunks in the CryptoPunks names of the CryptoPunks V1 collection. Normally, this would amount to submitting a takedown notice under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, or DMCA, to the platform responsible for hosting the content of the auction. So it goes on to read and says, Larva Labs, you need to get your, SHIT together. DMCA is not the way. Now you're doing it to your collection after you traded it. You're making the entire space look bad. Stop. So that was a Discord user that wrote that, and it just goes on to say, like, this is an issue potentially with them releasing the V2 that it's going to be tied to the V1 collection. So if that collection drops in value, if it doesn't do as well as V1, then the holders from V1 suffer because they're doing a pair of liquidity because it's a V2. Looks like some things are going to be heating up between this. I can go ahead and tell you guys, this will not be the last article. This is probably one of the first articles. Happy that we were able to bring it to you really quick. But Scott, you know how these stories go. This will not be the last you hear of this.
Yeah, I got one of those, I think, right now, too. That's kind of interesting that I think we're going to hear about more over the coming days. So $323 million in Ethereum was stolen from a cross-chain protocol called Wormhole, according to a series of Etherscan transactions. An attacker has exploited Wormhole, a bridge between the Ethereum and Solana blockchain, for close to 323 million ETH. Wormhole is a bridging protocol that enables assets to move across various blockchain protocols. When a user sends assets from one chain to another, the bridge locks the assets and mints a wrapped version of the funds on the destination chain. It's not clear how the attack executed the exploit, but it resulted in the theft of 120K worth of wrapped ETH, worth about 323 million at current prices. So you imagine if that was at top prices, how much money that would be worth. And they have gave out a bounty, or not a bounty, but they've offered a white hat agreement with the hacker with a bug bounty of 10 million for the details of the exploit and a return of the wrapped Ethereum minted in the attack.
Let's see how that one plays out.
I think it would be smart of the actual hacker to take 10 million for him to have to wash 323 million of wrapped Ethereum. It's gonna be hard.
The thing is, if they do it a lot, right? Like if they do this a lot and they don't want to, and they just doing it to test what they know, then they probably won't want to give up their identity for the money. They're probably pretty well off. on some other things. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, that's one of those stories that I don't think it'll be the last one that you hear about either. That might be just to open a dialogue to another one. To jump into my next article, we're going to go over to bitcoiners.com. The headline reads, Solana announces payment functionality. Here's how it's looking in action. So Solana users will be able to leverage a new payment functionality per an official post from Shiraj Sherry, head of payments at Solana Labs. The network has the potential to achieve a long-term vision of around the world payments. The post present of the hypocritical world where a customer is able to purchase an item with just a QR scan on their phone and a low-cost intermediate transaction gives them the ownership over their item as merchants receive their funds, which is immediately set to generate high yield interest. So Solana is going to be launching this payment function, and it seems like they're excited to get it out there. They said the core premise behind Solana Pay is that the payment and underlying the technology goes from being a necessary service utility to peer-to-peer communication channel between the merchant and the consumer. So even as our world has digitized and the ways to pay have proliferated, the dance between merchants, intermediates, banks, and technologies have become more fragmented, threading the needle on a cohesive payment experience that rewards loyalty, drives repeat visits, and doesn't cost an arm and a leg simply never happened. So it looks like they're going to be trying to really take over like a peer-to-peer communication between merchants and consumers on this payment channel. I think it's a brilliant idea. You know me, I'm always a little skeptical about Solana's network. I don't feel like if this was something that was really good and the network went down for 2 days, I'm not sure how that would work out in reality with holders and not being able to move their money or do anything with it. So I think it's really a great step in what Solana's talking about bringing to the table. But I think this is something that we'll look out for in the future.
That's amazing. That's interesting, though. See what happens. My next article is actually on a company called Blockworks. So how crypto publisher Blockworks plans to hit 20 million in revenue this year by doubling down on blockchain experimentation. So the almost 4-year-old digital media company increased its sales by nearly 300% in 2021 to more than 13 million, according to the founder, Jason Yanowitz. Advertising sales accounts for 90% of the company's annual revenue, which is split equally among digital ads, conference sponsorships, and podcast ads. He added the remaining 10% comes from ticket sales. But then they're actually looking at something really interesting, actually, and I'll just kind of explain this in short as possible. But Blockworks is selling general admission tickets to permissionless in a way that more closely resembles NFT drops than traditional ticket sales. Every 2 weeks, starting last November, 250 tickets are released to the public to purchase either using US dollars or cryptocurrency. The crypto prices adjust to match the dollar price, meaning people buying tickets through cryptocurrency doesn't risk paying more or less, since cryptocurrency valuations tend to fluctuate. The starting price for the ticket was $418, but that price increased with each drop. Currently, the ticket released on February 1st runs $967 per person. Secondly, the VIP ticket, which gives holders access to exclusive events and parties, as well as options to skip lines, will be only accessible to people who have purchased one of 500 permissionless NFTs that will be released in March for 1 Ethereum per NFT, which at the time of writing this hovered about 9,800, roughly 1,000 lower than its valuation on January 1st. So that's kind of interesting that they're like including that in their events and stuff, and just a way to promote themselves as well and make it more exclusive, a little bit exclusivity to their company.
Yeah, man, that seems really cool. I think that's going to be one to definitely keep an eye out for right there. I'll definitely be on the lookout for that one. To jump into my last article for the day, we're going to stay on bitcoiners.com. The headline reads, Bitcoin mining revenue plummets to 6-month low amid downtrend. So as per the latest report from ARK Arcane Research, the Bitcoin miner revenue has dropped to lows not seen in within the last 6 months. Over the course of 2021, the Bitcoin miners enjoyed some super high profits. There were two main reasons behind the amazing revenue during that period. The first was the Bitcoin price. During the year, Bitcoin achieved two different all-time highs and was generally in a state of uptrend, except for a few stretches. Because of this, whatever revenue Bitcoin miners gained up also went up in value and kept it in a state of high profit. So the other reason to the hash rate crash is due to China's crackdown on mining. The hash rate is an indicator that measures how much computing power is currently connected to the Bitcoin network. And it's definitely been, kind of in a uptrend, and then recently, kind of started consolidating, kind of a couple bounces down, where we've seen the lows to 36, and it's been up and down on the 1.5%. So, but as they were saying, at the same time, Bitcoin has struggled in pricing. It has crashed below 40K. These two factors combined meant profits for the miners have seen a significant reduction. If the hash rate continues and it's uptrend, and the price of Bitcoin also doesn't see any significant recovery, the mining profits will also continue to go down in the near future. At the time of this writing, Bitcoin floats around 38.5, up 1.5% in the last week. So yeah, it's going to be something interesting to watch out for. That the miners are going to definitely take their profit when they need to take it, as much as they need to take it during these times, especially during the halvings and things like that. But yeah, what they're basically saying is if this rate does go down, if the rate does go down, when we see these rates go down if the rates do go up and Bitcoin price does go down, then the miners get paid less, and that's almost like a inflation, almost, in a sense, because you pay your electrical in fiat, right? So the miners have to pay for electrical.
Oh, that's going to be neat. And I heard big things in 2024 about that halving, that it's going to have a huge impact on the price of things, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think so.
I find this one interesting, and it's a move in the right direction. I think we're going to see more countries doing this shortly, I believe. But Japan's crypto exchanges body considers easing rules for token listings. The Japanese industry body that makes rules for crypto exchanges is considering easing restrictions on listing new tokens. It just basically goes through the Japan's regulators has allowed the association to run the process on its behalf. The existing systems make it harder for new entrants to compete with incumbents if they want to get tokens improved. They complained that the process was cumbersome, so they're probably trying to expedite the process maybe a little bit, and realize that, I'm sure Japan's realizing that cryptocurrency is growing and growing fast, and they need to get their foot in the door before the door is totally closed. Like, I know they're doing it now, but I mean, there's going to be exponential growth from here on in.
Yeah, there'll definitely be more adoption as we start seeing more platforms offer more things, and it's going to just interest different levels of people, like whether it's through gaming, whether it's through social media, whether it's through engagement sites or and things of that nature. We're going to see cryptocurrency tie into all these things really well. So without further ado, guys, we're going to jump over to the we're going to jump over to TradingView. Take a look at the total crypto market cap, as well as two of the dominance factors, which are Bitcoin and Ethereum, like we do daily. Right now, the total crypto market cap is sitting at 1.68 trillion. So we've seen a little bit of money kind of trickle out of the market since yesterday. The Ethereum dominance is up to 19.11. The Bitcoin dominance is at 41.62. I think things are kind of like stabilizing in a sense. Scott, I like the way this looks. This isn't anything bad. We kind of seen a drawback in the last day, but anytime you have to have a pump, people are going to kind of sell, especially if they're feeling emotional, and it's all kinds of emotional people out there, as we know. So I think when you look at the macro side of it, I think everything's going to be positive. We talk about it all the time. You know, we're still so early in crypto, but now we're starting to talk about how many more people are starting to trickle in the door. So I think there's going to be a lot more people and a lot more countries that get involved. But other than that, guys, we're going to wrap it up for today. We got 2 more episodes this week before we call it a quits for the week. As you guys know, we're here Monday through Friday, and then we take the weekends off. But before we get out of here, is there anything you want to say, Seth?
No, just thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to watch out for some more exciting AMAs that we have. We have one on Monday with M Content. I'm just waiting for a poster on that. We'll be posting it on our Twitter. So listening to this YouTube video is giving you an opportunity above everybody else to get ready for that. And there'll be some great prizes in there. I think about $300 US worth of prizes through M Content. So excited.
Yeah. And until next time, guys, we appreciate your time. Peace.
A great one. See you guys soon.